welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. So we got us a hot one here today. We got this 07 Honda Ridgeline. It's got the 3.5 in it, of course, and it's only got about 78 and some change on it for miles. Not a lot of miles for a Honda. I'm not sure. The story I'm told via the customer is took it in about 4,000 miles ago to have the 100K service done at 70,000, 74,000 miles, whatever, water pump, timing belt, that whole spiel. Did that at Honda, where she's had it serviced since the day it was new. Apparently it's never been to an independent repair shop like ourselves. So she took it there, got it done, and told me that after having the timing belt and water pump replaced, that it never seemed right since. So she took it back, had them look at it, and at that point they changed. She showed me the receipt. They put 6 spark plugs in it and a number 5 ignition coil. So she went and picked it up, and again, still told them that it just doesn't seem right. Since you've done the timing belt, she didn't feel that the spark plugs or anything made any improvement. So, like I say, she took it back, and at that point they said, "Lady, you need an engine." And she says, "Well, how much is that?" And they told her $5 grand for a used one, some figure like that. So she just can't believe it. So she brought it here. Actually, she talked to a friend, and her friend knew a guy who knew me, and whatever. Anyhow, here it is, and that's the story. So I was like, well, she couldn't really explain the sound or the noise or the symptom, so I had her stop by with it today, early on today. We're actually closed right now, but I can't go home till I know what's wrong with this thing. So she stopped by with it. I go in the parking lot, start it up, listen to it, and it sounds normal. It sounds like a 3.5, but when you kind of listen to the exhaust, you can hear it putting, pop, 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 like a single cylinder, low compression. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. So I put it in reverse, and in reverse, if you have a door open, the door just sits there, just shaking and tremoring. You come out here, you can see the engine sits there, pop, 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 pop. You can really hear it pretty pronounced, like it does have low compression on one cylinder, or at least that's what it sounds like. I have no idea what it is. And so I'm sitting there, and I have it in reverse and idle, and I'm like, how come the engine light is not on? The engine light, I mean, it's clearly misfiring. And then about 10 seconds later, sitting there idling in reverse, or 30 seconds later, money light comes on, starts flashing. Bingo, that gives us direction. I mean, easily could have found direction, without that, don't get me wrong. But one thing I did notice, which was kind of peculiar, was shut it off, you go to start it, it was like, ding, how's that for a sound effect? It sounded to me like, of course it starts quite quickly, but it sounded to me like it had a cylinder with low compression, not a dead miss. And the reason I say that is because I took it for a little zipper on the block, all zippy zap, and it seems to have okay power. And the little misfire, you give it a little bit of throttle, seems to go away. Which is pretty classic for low compression. See, it's a lot of Subarus when the valves leak on them. The older ones, the older twin cams. They'd sit there and man, they'd shake like crazy at an idle. Just boom, 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 boom. You'd hear it, give it a little gas, she'd smooth right out, and away you'd go. So that's kind of where I'm at. So step one, we're gonna take and just grab some codes out real quick. I haven't looked at this yet, but I kind of want to know what I'm getting into. Whether we're gonna be pulling ahead or completely wrong. It's got a coil that's puked, or what the story is. How the heck could all this happen supposedly after a timing belt change, unless somebody didn't line up the marks and things got whacked, and then they lined up the marks to save their bacon, and then says, yeah, it's like that when it came in. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So that's where we're at. So step one, where were we? We're gonna pull codes. We're gonna see what cylinder is misfiring. We know it has a misfire code because the money light was flashing. Step two, we're going to do a relative compression test on it, because I think when it cranks over that I can hear a dead cylinder, but it starts so quickly I could be wrong. So that's where we're at. Now I went and fired up the Autel, and we'll get you guys in the frame here. That's what we've got, your classic P0304. So a cylinder 4 misfire is what it come up with. It's the only code it has stored in it. So that's that. Like I say, I want to do a relative compression test. So I'm going to grab the scope. We'll see if we can disable the fuel or spark or something here somehow. I already tried putting this into clear flood mode because I wanted to hear the starter. So I already, you know, when I started bringing it, I held the gas pedal away floor, cranked it, of course, you know, it started right up. A lot of domestics you can do that with, and they won't start. So we'll have to find some way to, like I said, disable fuel pump, find a fuse or something here. I'm not very familiar. We don't work on a lot of these, so see if we can disable that somehow, or maybe just pull this engine cover off and we'll just unplug the coils. That'll probably be easier. So very quickly, whoa, hang on. I did just unplug the coils. What did I tell you for mileage? So almost 80,000. Regardless, it's pretty low. I unplugged the coils, so let's see if we can just listen to this. Hopefully the audio picked that up, but that does not sound good, folks. That sounds like clearly like a bad cylinder. So maybe we got the auto out. We'll use that scope. That should work good enough. It's not a really great scope, but it'll work good enough for this. I kind of feel bad for this lady. She's pretty upset because, you know, like, she's never been to another shop, always went to the dealer, so, you know, now it sounds like they don't want nothing to do with her. So that kind of sucks. I guess she's called, you know, they pretty much just told her this is the end of the road, you need an engine, take it or leave it, have a nice day, sayonara, you know, that whole spiel. We're going here, we want the scope. So that kind of sucks, you know. But anyhow, I'm just here to provide an answer. I did not see on her invoice that she had from Honda where they did like a valve adjustment or anything. So I wasn't sure if they did that as part of the 100K service for her, or the 74,000 mile service, whatever it is. It appeared they did just a time belt water pump. Tensioner was on there, of course the 6 spark plugs and the number 5 ignition coil for whatever reason. Who knows, maybe it did need that. All knotted up here. So anyhow, I'll get this all straightened out. We'll get our low amp clamp. Jeez. I give up. And then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here's the setup. You know, we've just got our low amp clamp here. That's zeroed out, hooked to the single wire going to the starter. We have current flow in this direction, so that's why we've got that facing. And then we've got trigger here on one of the coils. So these coils are their own control modules. So they've got a power, ground, and then a control wire from the computer. So we just use this cylinder right here in the front because it's easy to get to. Got that back probed. We've got our scope set up. Now this probably isn't going to be a very good picture. This scope has no filter on it. It's like always constantly in peak detect mode. So usually it looks kind of crappy, but that's what we got out. So so our channel 1 here, or channel A, is our current ramp or current clamp, and channel B should be our trigger. Should be just like a square wave, you know, a little on-off trigger. So that's it. We'll take and get that to restart. Come right around here. That should be plenty enough. Come over here and stop it now. Oh, we got some kind of, whoa, crap, I just unplugged something. I just tripped over something here. What did that do? Oh, just our ground. That shouldn't really matter. Okay, let me set the camera down here. There, we're not getting everybody vertigo. Well, our signal wire doesn't look too good. Of course, that's kind of the MO of the scope. That's, hopefully we can decipher through all the hash. Oh, we can. So we can see, move this down, so we can see that as our firing event. It appears that we picked the number 4 cylinder. So, what do we have here? Let me get a pointing device. So if that's our trigger, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 6 events, and it appears that must be that front cylinder is the number 4, as long as our code's right, because we had this code for number 4 misfire. So we can see, you know, compression, 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 no compression, and then we have this big peak in amperage here, and I can only assume it's because the crankshaft picked up speed, you know, across this cylinder, because this cylinder had no or low compression. From the looks of it, has some compression. So the crankshaft picked up speed and then, you know, come up against a little higher amperage. Is my only assumption. That's just my first guess from looking at this. So that's kind of what that looks like for sure. Definitely is missing a vent. So that's kind of funny that let's look up our firing order real quick if we can. Yeah, look at that. So yeah, we got kind of lucky. It's one of the front cylinders. So we are on cylinder number 4. So we'll take and unplug our trigger. Definitely mechanical. I guess we can get this out of here. We don't really need that up in here anymore. Set that right out of our way. Now we'll take and pull our ignition coil out. Grab a compression gauge. Oh yeah, I guess they put a radiator in it too. She told me they put a new radiator in. Side note. Let's pull that little guy out and see what's going on here. Oh, come on, little fella. It's gonna be weird enough. Oh, she died like a tiger. I'm gonna need a little bit more extension. I probably said that a time or two. Let's see here. Well, that wasn't very tight. Maybe they've already been down this road. Imagine if they told her that she needs a new engine. They didn't tell her why, they just told her she needs a new engine. At least we're gathering some data. We'll give her her money's worth in diagnosing. Of course, she's, man, look at me, I'm shaking. Like, she's all wet from having the coil unplugged, obviously. Let's see, actually I better move this stuff. So let's grab a regular old mechanical compression gauge. Go old school on this pig, and we'll see what we see. It's not gonna be good though. Yeah, I got a brand new one. I'm using this for I don't know, one of our videos or something. I was doing a running compression test with it. In cylinder pressure transducer, and the old hose let loose. Maybe I didn't do a video on it, but that's what happened. So yeah, we got a new hose from our Mac man. Free. Not really. I probably paid 20 times more for this than we should have. Okay, so there's that. Get that where you folks can see it. You guys see that? Good enough, I guess. Let me wheel her over. That sounded like enough little toots. There she is. You guys see that? 90 PSI. It's about probably 90 less than what it should be. So that ain't good. The air is going somewheres. So that's what we got to find out now. We'll grab a leak down tester. See if we can get this piston where it needs to be. Well, here's my thought. It appears that this valve cover comes off pretty easily from the looks of it. So why don't we just have a little look? I'm thinking this thing must have been a valve, which is super weird. So particularly after a timing belt service. If all the story's true, I have no reason not to believe her. It's just, I can only relay to you what they tell me. That's what I was told. So I tell you what, let's just pop this little valve cover off. That way we can make sure both valves are closing that cylinder. God, isn't this the number 5? Where's our fire order? Yeah, that's the number 5. They said that that was a brand new coil. Well, let's just compare. There that goes. Yeah, I suppose it is. So there's the old one, there's a new one, but it's kind of weird. It's got a lot of crud on it for Not judging, folks. Oh, okay, so that cylinder has, looks like maybe a leaky, or a slightly leaky spark plug tube seal. So that's where that crap's coming from. Let me see, I'll grab a 10mm and a blow nozzle will blow some of this junk off. And it looks like one bolt here, a couple on the front, a couple right there, a little wiring harness here or something. A little vent hose, boom! Oh, we're going to have to ruin this lady's day. Morning. I'll call her in the morning. I don't want to ruin her evening. Or ruin her morning. That's wrong. I probably shouldn't say that. Sometimes I just feel like the Grim Reaper, you know. Yeah, well, we just leave that hanging. We'll just leave that little guy hanging. We should be able to sneak that valve cover out without... Got our extension here we just used on our spark plug. Alright, there's that. Need a little bit of pliers, I guess it looks like. Here's some pliers, lady. None of this stuff appears to have been off, so I doubt that they went this far with it. If they did, maybe we'll get to be the hero. Maybe the valve is just over tight. Wouldn't that be sweet? I'd get you a few brownie points anyways. Oil's down just a smidge maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Why did we even do that? Okay. Just didn't want to lose them. Oh, I should just end the video right here. Wouldn't that just make everybody happy? Maybe I will. Stay tuned for part 2. Oh, I'm just kidding. I want to know as bad as you guys do. Know the fate of this old Honda. Come out of there, little guy. Oh, yeah. You can. So let me tip this upside down off camera, just because we don't drop anything. So that's what she looks like with 79,000 miles of Honda service, Honda certified, all that. That number 2. So maybe this has been off before. I just noticed. Look at this. This is the number 5 spark plug tube seal, the one that had all the crusty crust in it. That's kind of wonky, almost like it might have been put on incorrectly at some point. I don't know. Need a light. Here's our light. What cylinder we were working at? This one, this little guy here. Okay, that's our intake valves. They both have a little bit of slop in them, which is good. Not excessive amounts. I don't see any broken valve spring. We must be coming up on the exhaust stroke right now because, oh yeah, it looks like it's right at the peak of the lobe. And this is where your VTEC happens, folks, right there, the center rocker arm. When that VTEC is rocking, that baby's locked in. That's when she's like... But let's, enough about the VTEC. Let's see if we can roll the engine over, perhaps, with a wrench. Let me grab one here. size it is, maybe 19. See if we can just turn the power steering pump. Maybe that'll help us. Oh yeah. Is it turning? Anything? Oh, did that just come loose? No. I'm gonna turn it slow because I don't want this nut to come loose. I just want the valves to go closed. All we need is all 4 valves closed, obviously, to do a leak down test. Those are still Tiger tight. Let's keep rolling. Alright, they look like they're on their way down, or up, rather. Cam's on its way down. Okay, let's just give those a little wiggle. Yeah, they got play too. So, all of our valves are coming up fully. Well, that's an assumption. All of them have a little bit of lash, no excessive lash, which is good. Well, to a certain degree, it's good. A lot of times, what we're checking there for, just so you guys know, if a valve is like, you know, peened right over, what'll happen is you'll have like excessive valve lash because it doesn't return all the way back up. So that's what we're feeling for there. You know, I'm not going to stick a feeler gauge under it. You can tell that, you know, the valve is not too far out of adjustment, but that doesn't really matter right now. So all 4 valves are closed. We can do a leak down test, see where she's leaking. I think we did this in our other Honda video that ate a bunch of valves, but that was a little Civic, broke a timing belt, crash, bang, boom. All right, folks, place your bet. Intake valve, exhaust valve, both, piston rings. What else can we do? Where else can she go? Cylinder to cylinder. What's it gonna be? We got 100 PSI in there. All 4 valves are loose, and we've got some blow-by, 80% to be exact, or 78 to be more precise. So that's a lot of blow-by. It can be going a couple places. It can be going out the crankcase, which is a possibility. Intake or exhaust. So intake, exhaust, easiest thing to listen to. I do hear some hissing in this vicinity. Well, let's stick our ear on the intake tube first. Well, actually, let's go to the exhaust. That's easy enough. And my tripod just broke. Now we got a bipod. That's handy. Where's the muffler? Oh my gosh, lady. You hear anything? Let me stick my ear up here. Oh, the exhaust sounds pretty quiet to my ear. Let me come over here. Let me rig up my busted up tripod, and we'll pull this tube off and have a listen there. That's weird. I don't hear it. Of course, the butterfly is shut. Let's go over here. Well, folks, That is a substantial amount of blow-by. Tell you what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to pull the spark plug out of its companion cylinder. Let's be on the safe side. It sounds like it's coming up out of the crankcase. I don't hear it coming out of the intake here, which it would come right out of this, you know, port here. I don't hear it over here on the intake at all. I don't hear it on the exhaust at all. This is weird. So just as a precaution, we are going to pull out the number 5 spark plug. Just to make sure. I doubt that it's going over to the other cylinder, but oh man, they tightened that one up better. Better safe than sorry, you know. It's gonna kind of suck if she really doesn't need an engine. Not for you guys, because we'll get a sweet video out of it. So there's our number 5. Even though we did some cranking on it, she still looks pretty. Looks pretty. I guess I can just leave it at that. That's number 4, and number 4 is not so pretty. Not being judgmental, stating facts. Let's go ahead and give her a little blast here. And you can clearly see we still have the same amount of leak down, so that means it's definitely not getting into that other cylinder. All the valves are closed. Not coming out of the intake, not coming out of the exhaust. What we can do, temporarily, we can put our valve cover back on because we're done. We've seen everything we need to see. So let's take and pull this out real quick. That way there we can capture, if it is coming out of the valve cover, we can capture that a little bit better. If that makes sense as far as capturing the air. Where's the valve cover? Anybody seen the valve cover? There you are, little fella. So, I guess I'm not really worried about it. It's not like this thing's leaving until it's fixed, so I really don't care about the tube seal or anything. The fate of this little Honda is not looking so good right now. Lady's gonna fix it, but she wants to know what is wrong with it. I want to know what's wrong with it. You folks at home want to know what's wrong with it. Bring it around town. Let's grab the bolts. There's one little oddball one, that little shorty. She goes up in the back. The rest of them look the same. Sure would be interesting to find out it's coming out of the crankcase, huh? That can only mean one thing, you know, like broken ring or something. How the heck does that just happen randomly? Be a good murder mystery. Let's take it out, we'll tear it down. Super weird. There we go. Find my torque wrench. Oh, there it is. Oh, let's see here. Got it. factory specs. Let's lift this right back in real quick. See if we can blow dry our hair with the dipstick tube. Where else things? Yeah, I have some crankcase vent somewhere else. Yeah, going over there to the intake. Okay. We know our valves are closed. Our piston doesn't move. Let me get a little funnel so I can hear what's going on here. Well, I hear a little bit in there, but nothing crazy. Alright, we're going to have to open this throttle. I mean, this should be straight in, right? That's just crankcase gas, isn't it? Alright, well, I hooked the smoke machine to it. I took the air intake tube off because I wanted to make 100% sure, you know, I pushed open them butterflies so I could hear it. I wanted to be certain. Like, it's definitely not coming out the intake. That sounds pretty quiet, you know, very, very faint. So I gotta put some smoke in it because I can hear the air rushing. I just don't know where. I didn't hear it in the exhaust, I don't think. Stuck my ear up there pretty good. Usually with this much leak down, you can hear them. I mean, it just... So we'll look to see if it comes out which hole it's going to come out of. It's going to come out of one of them. It's got to be going somewheres. So I'll let her fill up here for a little while. I got the intake tube off over there. Of course, maybe you guys can barely see that in the corner there. Got the intake tube off. I think yeah, they have 2 spark plugs out. Oil cap's open. Smoker's a smoking. I don't know. Bizarre, unless I can't hear and it is coming out the exhaust. So we're waiting for this to fill up with smoke. I know we're going to get bombarded with the fact that the piston is not all the way down or all the way up or wherever I guess it's supposed to be to do a leak down test. To me, that doesn't matter. All it matters is that all 4 valves are closed. We know that they are. We've seen it. We've got play in the rocker shafts, or in the rocker arms. We see that we've got, you know, a measurable amount of leak down. So that's it. It doesn't matter where the piston is. We just want to seal the cylinder up. The piston seals its entire stroke. Hopefully, if not, you've got a lot more problems than, you know, than this. So that's that. I don't really care where the piston is. I just want to make sure all 4 valves are closed. And with that being said, so far I'm not seeing nothing. It's been a good few minutes. I mean, this thing should be plummeting smoke. Nothing on the intake. Don't see anything rushing out of the crankcase. Where is it going? Let's go back and have a look at the exhaust. Whoa. Oh my gosh, almost fell. Uh-oh. Now, I'm going to leave you folks back here. I'm going to go hook the air hose to it. Let's see what happens. It should be pretty juicy. Bring that little thing. Hold on. Here she goes. 1, 2, 3, go! I didn't get to see it. Did it do something cool? Well, folks, it's all over but the crying. I just got to call the young lady tomorrow and give her the bad news. Let her eat breakfast first and wake up, and then we'll make the dreaded phone call. But that's that. No more sense in beating it any further than we already have. It is leaking out of an exhaust valve for whatever reason. We don't know. Exhaust valve chipped. Is the edge of it broke off? You know, I guess that would be the same as being chipped. Is it slightly bent and being held slightly open? Who knows? But we do know it is 100% confirmed coming out the exhaust. You can see it with the smoke machine there. Clearly, good visual representation. So that's that. Super bizarre. Why did it happen? I don't know. The paper trail appears to have happened perhaps at the dealer when they did timing belt service, and nobody wants to own up to it now. I don't know. I'm here to diagnose it. Anything I say is hearsay. You know, on and beyond that, all we can do is look at the facts, see what we got. That's what we got. So if we get the job, which I'm certain that we will, bring you guys along. We'll yank the head off the old Honda. See if she wants to do one head, two heads, no heads, whatever. Get her fixed, and maybe we'll make a sweet video series out of ripping down the Ridgeline. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Google+, Facebook, check us out there if you haven't done that. Subscribe to our channel if you would and want to stay up to date and don't want to miss upcoming videos like the one that hopefully we're going to have on this little guy. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.